If you have to take a punch in the face, you got to do it. Cross-check, slash in the face, whatever the case is. I mean, we just, you know it's a series and got to stick up for each other, but it's nice on the power play too.
There's losing a game, and then there's losing your mind. The Oilers did both in Game 3. Penalties everywhere, a goalie pulled, which, if we're being honest, is not that shocking. A lot of people predicted that heading into this series, including myself. And then you look at Florida. Calm, cool, composed, and absolutely deadly.
That was a weird game.
That's one way of putting it, but it definitely didn't replicate games 1 and 2. It was not 50-50 between these two teams. It was one-sided for the majority of the game, and it started off early, and it was the Florida Panthers, and it was the man who ended Game 2 in double overtime, kicks it off in Game 3, number 63, Brad Marchand, 56 seconds in, off of an O-zone draw, and he makes a hell of a play here. Lundell gets him the puck with a great pass, goes down off his skate to his stick, sick hands, and it's 1-0 early for the Florida Panthers. It also doesn't help that Skinner is swimming in his crease here. I'm not going to blame him because this was just a chaotic discombobulation of a play. But again, it's Brad Marchand in this third line, which is right now statistically the best line in hockey. According to Money Puck, look at the top of the list. Luostarinen, Lundell, Brad Marchand, 12 goals for, 2 goals against. No one comes close. And funny enough, second on that list is Florida's second line. Not long after that, we get to the first penalty of the game, the first of many, and it's a penalty to the Panthers. Lundell trips Draisaitl. Oilers to the power play with a chance to tie the game. But they can't do it. Tons of chances, but Bobrovsky shuts the door. At one point, the shots were 8-3. Bobrovsky stopped 12 shots in the first period, and that's a massive turning point. And now here's where the penalty parade really gets going, and it's Evander Kane. He gets 2 offensive zone penalties in this period. The first one is for a cross-check on Forsling. Forsling goes down a little bit too easy, I'll be honest. I'm siding with Evander Kane here. This was a tough call, tough look. But nonetheless, he goes to the box. Panthers can't capitalize. And then there's another penalty. Evander Kane once again. This time it's a high stick on Marchand in the offensive zone. That's 3 O-zone minors in the last 2 games for Evander Kane. Luckily, though, the Panthers don't convert on that power play.
The calls and whatnot, obviously some of them are frustrating. They seem to get away with it more than we do.
So right after Edmonton kills that second Kane penalty, it's a sloppy too many men. 7 players on the ice. Knobloch is not a happy man.
The referees, I think they did an outstanding job tonight, and they even caught the too many men penalty in the first period, which was too many men. They caught us there. I just wish they had been calling the game in Game 2 in overtime.
And credit to the Oilers' PK again because they killed that one off. Now the Panthers take a penalty. Ekblad trips Kane 30 seconds into the Oilers' power play. It's 4-on-4. Then Bennett high sticks Brown. But again, the Oilers can't convert on the power play. 3 PP chances in the first, they can't score. And then here's the death knell. You can't give the Panthers 4 chances on the power play. Arvidsson skates right into Bobrovsky. I'll give it to Bob. He sells this one like a professional wrestler. He should be in the WWE, right? He sold this one. It's still a penalty call, though. No one pushes him. He's in alone. He stops up, goes into Bob. Now the Panthers go on the power play, and you can only guess what happens. They convert. It's Carter Verhaeghe. A laser, perfect shot over the shoulder of Stuart Skinner. And after this goal, what's Marchand doing? He's chirping the Oilers bench, telling them to use their heads. And maybe they should have taken that advice because here's the first period summary. The Oilers gave up 4 power plays, 3 in the offensive zone, plus a too many men. It's just undisciplined, doesn't even cover it.
Obviously when you start in the first with, 4 penalties, almost half the period you're killing. So not a good way to get into your game.
Spoiler alert, they never got to their game. So the second period starts with the Oilers on the power play. Lundell picked up a roughing penalty at the end of the first, so it continued on. Great opportunity for the Oilers. And what do? They score. It's Corey Perry, the oldest player in the Stanley Cup Final, converts on a beauty pass down low from Evan Bouchard. But the problem here is that not even 2 minutes later, the Panthers go down the ice and score. And it's a bit chaotic and a bit controversial. John Klingberg, defenseman for the Oilers, has the puck. He's skating behind his net, getting hunted down by Sasha Barkov. Collides with the official on the wall, Francis Chiron, loses the puck. Verhaeghe picks it up, makes a nice little dish to Reinhart. He goes over the same shoulder that Verhaeghe did on his goal on Stuart Skinner. It's 3-1. And to me, this was the turning point in the game. This was the death knell for the Oilers because they just score early on in the second. They're getting some momentum, and it's killed right there. And Klingberg is absolutely fuming, and I get it. I'm with him. I don't know if they should change the rule here, but I've been seeing a lot of this throughout these playoffs with the referees getting in the way, taking forever to drop the puck. But with the getting in the way thing, in a position like that, in such an important game, I feel like they should blow the play dead there. He loses the puck in his own zone because the ref's in the way. Now, is it on Klingberg to avoid the referee, or is it on the ref, the linesman, to avoid the player? Might be a bit of both, but regardless, it's a death knell to the Oilers, and it's 3-1 just after the Oilers pick up a huge goal. And less than 5 minutes later, the night gets worse for the Oilers. It's the Sam Bennett show. If there's one goal that completely shows you what this guy's about and what he brings to your team, it's this one. Bennett levels Podkolzin, then he finishes his hit on Klingberg. Podkolzin then turns it over at the blue line to Luostarinen, who finds Bennett, and Bennett buries it. Beautiful goal, 4-1 Panthers.
That shift was a perfect example of his game. He blows two guys up and then somehow leads the rush after that and scores a beautiful goal.
That was basically the game. But Florida did not let up. Aaron Ekblad hits the unhittable McDavid. 97 actually left the game briefly and returned. A little scary for the Oilers, but he came back. Then Aaron Ekblad again crushes Corey Perry. Oilers then pick up a penalty, and it's Darnell Nurse. Listen, I get the cross checks, but when you deliver 15 of them, the rest going to be like, dude, I gave you a pass on the first 14. The 15 one's going to take it over the top, and that's exactly what happens. Was it a bit of a dive? Of course it was. But you can't cross-check a guy that many times when the ref is giving you some grace.
I think our guys were just trying to, boys being boys. I guess just trying to make investments for the next game.
So after 2, it's 4-1 Panthers. We head to the third period. The Oilers kill off that Nurse penalty for cross-checking Lundell 10,000 times. And then the Oilers pick up another penalty. Just after they killed the Nurse one, Stuart Skinner, what are you doing, buddy? He's having a rough game. He just shoots the puck out, delay a game, Panthers on the power play, and you can only guess what happens next. It is just a beautiful tic-tac-toe goal. No-look backhand feed from Reinhart, just nasty. Ekblad finishes it. Skinner had no chance. It's 5-1. Skinner gets yanked, 5 goals on 23 shots. And then the penalties continue. This time it's Matthias Janmark gets roughing for punching AJ Greer in the back of the head. The game starts to get really greasy at this point, and good on the Oilers. You're looking at this, you're like, we're getting our ass beat. We're not coming back. We got to send some sort of a message, even though they've lost their minds at this point. But the game did get greasy. You get Trent Frederick and going after Bennett. They kind of scramble around. Bennett is punching Frederick in the head while the referee's holding him down. Not a great look, but I don't think Bennett cares. Then Darnell Nurse and Gadjevich start going at it. Great tilt there. Jake Wallman of the Oilers spears Kachuk at some point, throws a punch right at his head while Klingberg is holding him, and Wallman pretty much lost it. His wires were completely crossed because he was squirting water at the Panthers bench. And you see poor Brian Boucher in the middle knocking on the glass like, hey, dude, cut it out. I'm trying to call this game for TNT.
Well, definitely third period's an unraveling. I think the game was out of hand.
An unraveling is a great way to describe it. So the story of the game, listen, Edmonton, 85 penalty minutes to Florida's 55. Oilers gave them 11 power play chances. It was a mental meltdown, completely undisciplined from the Oilers. Goaltending duel, not really. Bobrovsky, unbelievable. 116 saves through 3 games, 12 saves in the first period alone, which I thought was crucial. And Skinner, 5 goals on 23 shots. He gets yanked. Now, was that yank to bring in Pickard and get him ready for the next game? Or was that a mercy yank? I think it was a mercy yank. I have a feeling we'll see Skinner in game 4, but would not be surprised if Calvin Pickard gets in there because, the guy coming into that game was 6-0-0. So do you go back to that guy who the Oilers felt pretty comfortable in front of? That'll be a huge storyline, a storyline we saw coming a million miles away. And then it's the Marchand and Bennett show. It's nightmare fuel for the Oilers. 11 points combined in the last 5 games. 8 goals, 4 goals apiece. They are absolutely shredding the Edmonton Oilers. They're shredding anyone that gets in their way. What a pickup Brad Marchand was at the deadline. I think we might be talking about one of the greatest pickups of all time if they go on and win the Stanley Cup. They're only 2 wins away. And now the Oilers are in must-win territory. I think if you're the Oilers, you need to go back to Edmonton 2-2 with a split. And I think McDavid probably feels the same way about that.
I don't think our best has shown up all series long, but it's coming.